Hello and good morning. My name is John Barley and welcome for today's sales advice in Farming Simulator 19. Our today's topic are tractors, and today we've reached the top. We've reached the tractors with the highest horsepower in the game. Today we are looking at tractors over 640 horsepower. These are the ones over here, these 5 beauties. And before that we will look at tractors between 501 and 640 horsepower. These are the ones over here. And I say we will get right into it. We will start with this Fendt. This is a Fendt 1154 MT, 536 horsepower, 450,000 euros to buy, so 839 euros per horsepower. Method of evaluation as usual, purchase price divided by horsepower. It has tracks, it has a front weight with a pin hitch, and that's what you get with this tractor. There are no other options available other than, well, having the wide tracks like we had, or like we have here, or having narrow tracks like with this one we will see later on. Yeah, that's the Fendt 1145 MT. Next up we have the first of 3 Case Quadtracs. This is the Case Quadtrac 470. It has 525 horsepower, 483 euros to buy, and this will result in 834 euros per horsepower. With the Case you don't get a front weight or anything, you have a front pin hitch, and that's it. But it's a really nice machine. I really like when you get into it and you start making a turn that the stairs move out of the way where the tracks are. This is such a nice, cool feature that it does that, and I really love that. Yeah, and I'm really happy to have these tractors now finally in my evaluation. I mean, we waited long for it because these have such a high horsepower, and I'm really happy that we have already 3 of them in today's evaluation. There's another one over there, and you saw it before. There is another one. Yeah, next up we have another Fendt. This looks quite nice. 2 fence framing the Case. Looks like the Case has bodyguards. Yeah, the next Fendt, also a Fendt of the 1100 MT series, now the 1159 MT, 592 horsepower, 478,000 euros to buy, 807 euros per horsepower. Other than that, the setup is exactly the same like the one we had before. Front weight, front pin hitch. Next up we have the only New Holland tractor in today's evaluation. This is a New Holland T9 565. It has 550 horsepower, 440,000 euros to buy in the standard configuration. Here we have the option of chose the option of twin wheels, which will put an additional 10,000 euros to your bill for this tractor, but this did not affect today's evaluation. We just evaluated the standard price for it. Front pin hitch, and that is basically, it's also a tractor where the steering angle is right here. Yeah, that's the Case. No, not Case. New Holland T9 565. Next up we have a Challenger. The Challenger MT865E, 592. What's wrong with me today? 592 horsepower, 472,000 euros to buy, so 797 euros per horsepower. Other than that, standard a front weight with a front pin hitch. Next up we have also a Challenger, but now not a Challenger with tracks. This is a Challenger with wheels. Obviously, this is the MT955E with 536 horsepower, 425,000 euros to buy, 792 euros per horsepower. Twin wheels are an option, which will cost an additional 16,500 euros. The evaluation was done with a standard model. It has a standard front weight, but in this case without a front pin hitch. Yeah, that's the Challenger MT955E. Next up, we have the next case Quadrac series. This is the Quadrac 540, 613 horsepower, 482,000 euros to buy. Other than that, it's identical to the one we had before, front pin hitch, and that's it. But in this evaluation between 501 and 640 horsepower, it's the strongest tractor in this evaluation. It's the only tractor which will bypass the mark of 600 horsepower. So here, the strongest one between 501 and 640 horsepower. Next up, we have this Challenger over here. This is a Challenger MT965E, so the stronger brother of this one over here. This has 591 horsepower, is 452,000 euros to buy, so 764 euros per horsepower. Here now we're displaying it in the standard configuration with standard wheels, and it also has the front weight like the other one before him. Yeah, that's the Challenger MT965E. Here we would find a Class Xerion 5000 with 530 horsepower for 400,500 euros to buy, so 755 euros per horsepower. The Class, which would be here, has a top speed of 50 kilometers per hour. All of these other tractors right here only reach 40 kilometers per hour as a top speed. And the only exception is the winner of this evaluation, this Fendt over here. The Fendt has a top speed of 60 kilometers per hour, so it outruns all of these easily. But the downside is this is the weakest tractor in today's evaluation, if you would like to call 517 horsepower as weak, because that's what he has. This is the Fendt 1050. 1050 Vario, 517 horsepower. It's 367,000 euros to buy, so it's also the cheapest tractor of today's evaluation, but as I said before, the weakest one as well, and it has 709 euros per horsepower. It costs 700 euros per horsepower. Other than that, it has a front 3-point link, and yeah, that's the winner of the evaluation between 501 and 640 horsepower. Now we will move on to the top of the tops. We will move on to the tractors with over 640 horsepower. Why did we choose 640 horsepower? Well, because there's one piece of equipment in the game, which is a seeder from Wetterstedt, the Seed Hawk and its seed tank, which require 640 horsepower to pull. So basically, these 5 tractors are the only tractors in the game capable of pulling this seeder or operating this seeder. So go back to our video about seeders, and you will find it there. And yeah, that's basically the tractors which are capable of pulling the biggest seeder in the game. We will start with this one because it is something special. This is the Big Butt 747 16V 1100 horsepower. So a 16-cylinder engine with 1100 horsepower. Unbelievable. It shows the triple wheel option here to make it even more impressive. But even if you have it with standard wheels, it's an impressive piece of equipment, and it's the strongest tractor in the whole game with over 1000 horsepower. Unbelievable. And this 1100 horsepower beast you can get for only 405,000 euros, so it's only 368 euros per horsepower. That's the good part, but it also has some downsides to it. First, of course, the width. It's incredibly wide, especially with the triple tire setup, but even in the standard configuration it's incredibly wide. It's relatively slow, only 30 kilometers per hour top speed, and it only has a pin hitch in the back, so no PTO, so you cannot operate anything that requires a power output at the back with it. So yeah, that's the downside with the big butt, so that's why it has some sort of special place here. By the numbers, it's the most cost-effective tractor, I think, in the whole game, but especially with this horsepower requirement, or these horsepower. Anyways, moving on to the other tractors which are still left on our list. First, we have the Fendt 1165 MT, 646 horsepower, 505,000 euros to buy, so 781 euros per horsepower. Other than that, it's like the Fendts we had before: front weight, front pin hitch, and in the rear, other like the big butt, you have a PTO, you have a 3-point link, so basically you can operate nearly everything with this tractor. Yeah, that's the Fendt. Next up, we have a Challenger, basically the Challenger brother of this Fendt over here. This is the Challenger MT875E, also 646 horsepower, 499,000 euros to buy, so 6,000 euros cheaper than the Fendt, and this will result in 772 euros per horsepower. Apart from that, front weight, front pin hitch, just like the Fendt. Next up, we have the case, the strongest case in the game. This is the case Quadrotrack 620, 692 horsepower, 521,500 euros to buy, so 753 euros per horsepower, front pin hitch, and just like the other one we had before, I really like it when you're making a turn and the stairs moving out of the way, and it's an incredible piece of machine. And also the way of steering with it, it's kind of, you need to get used to it to drive something like that, because when you're making a turn, it takes some time before it starts turning, but once it's at its fully ankle, the turning radius of this thing is incredible. Yeah, this is really nice. Case Quadrotrack 620, very, very cool piece of machine. Moving on to the winner. I mean, actually the winner is a big bet, but nevertheless, the winner of the evaluation for tractors over 640 PS. This is horsepower, no, not PS. This is the Challenger MT975E, 646 horsepower, 480,000 euros to buy, so 743 euros per horsepower. Here also with a triple tire setting. These triple tires will cost an additional 28,500 euros to the before mentioned 480,000 euros. Other than that, standard front weight, no front pin hitch. But yeah, that's the Challenger. Really, really nice. And yeah, that's it for today's topic: tractors between 501 to 640 40 PS and tractors over 640 horsepower. Thank you very much for your interest. Thank you very much for your attention. Leave a like or leave a comment or leave both. And yeah, have a nice day and see you next time.